We're often told that legacy is all about the money you leave behind, or maybe the big name you build for yourself. But what if that's all wrong? Today, we are going to strip legacy down to its absolute truth. Not the fancy, glamorous version, but the one that actually lasts. And we're going to start with a question that honestly challenges everything we think we know about the mark we leave on the world. So let's get right to it. If legacy isn't just about money, what is it? What is it really? The answer, it turns out, is changing. See, most of us were taught to think of legacy as a possession, right? Something you hand down. But some really interesting research is showing it's actually about influence, something you build and share while you're still here. And let me tell you, that shift, well, it changes everything. Okay, so to really understand where we're headed with this whole idea of legacy, we first have to look back at the legacy that was handed down to us. For generations, and I'm talking a long time here, the whole idea of what we pass on was defined by a very specific and honestly a very demanding set of values. This quote from a family business leader just captures it perfectly. I remember how hard my mother worked in the field and then cooked for us afterward. Wow, that really hits home, doesn't it? The legacy so many of us received was built on that exact foundation. Just pure hard work, grit, and this relentless commitment. It was a legacy of doing, of pushing through no matter what, of building something through sheer force of will. But you have to ask, is that the full story? Is that all we want to pass on? Well, that brings us to a really fascinating generational shift. A recent study from Northwestern's Kellogg School of Management, it uncovered this surprising, pretty massive gap between the legacy of the past and the one we actually want for the future. So what they did was they asked around 70 people from family businesses two simple questions. What legacy did you receive, and what do you hope to pass on? The answers, well, they were profoundly different. And here's where it gets really, really interesting. Just look at this drop. So 26% of people said hard work was the core of the legacy they got from their parents or grandparents. But then when they were asked what they wanted to pass on to the next generation, that number plummeted to just 10%. That's a drop of more than half. That's not just a small change. That signals a huge cultural shift in what we actually value deep down. So, okay, if hard work is taking a back seat, what's taking its place? Well, we're seeing this really clear shift toward more human-centric values. Think about it. We're moving away from a legacy that was all about what we do, the grit, the commitment, that relentless drive. And we're moving towards a legacy that's defined by who we are. Things like love, authenticity, humility, and even self-fulfillment. Right, so this massive shift really forces us to ask an even deeper question, doesn't it? If legacy isn't just about the grind or how much money you have, then what on earth is it? What does it truly mean? Luckily, researchers have been thinking about this, and they've actually come up with a new way to understand it. They call it leadership legacy, or L2 for short. And this idea completely reframes legacy. It's not a thing you leave behind anymore. Instead, it's an active, sustainable imprint you make on the world. The simplest way to put it is this: your legacy is what keeps working long after you've stopped. It's the mindset you passed on. It's the system you built. It's the standard you set for others. And this really breaks down the new rules of legacy perfectly. It's an active imprint, not some passive inheritance you just hand over at the very end. It's all about sustainability, not just assets. And it's defined by your influence, not your financial status. And maybe the most important part, it's a daily practice, not some end-of-life reflection. This means your legacy building, it starts today, right now. Okay, so the big question is, how do we actually build this new kind of legacy that lasts? How do we bridge that gap we saw between the old model of just hard work and this new desire for humanity? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. You don't have to pick a side. We don't have to choose. It's not an either-or choice. It's a both-and situation. The most powerful, most enduring legacies, they don't just throw out the values of the past. They integrate them. The real goal here isn't to replace hard work with humanity, but to infuse our hard work with more humanity. It's a synthesis, a blending of the best of both worlds. Because when you think about it, we absolutely need both. We need that discipline and that drive to build something truly remarkable. But at the same time, we also need the compassion, the purpose, and the self-awareness to make it meaningful and sustainable for other people. It's like one gives a legacy its structure, its bones, but the other gives it a soul. And this quote from the research just nails it. You can have an amazing business model built on relentless commitment and hard work that will implode if you don't get the people part right.
And that's it, isn't it? An amazing business model, a real testament to hard work, will literally implode if you don't get the people part right. One without the other is totally incomplete. It's fragile. But together, that's when you create a legacy that can actually survive and thrive across generations.
So, here's the crucial point, the main takeaway from all of this. Your legacy isn't what you leave behind, it's what you build today. It's not some final grand act, it's a pattern of your daily choices. It's what keeps moving forward in the world simply because you once existed. And you don't need to be famous and you don't need to be wealthy to build one. I mean, if someone thinks differently because of you, or if something works better because of you, you've already started. So the only real question left is, what will continue working because of you?